Hello. Hey, 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 hey. Hello, everybody. Gaz Williams here, and welcome to the Gaz Williams Show. This time with a special, spicy, clickbaity title, I guess. What could it be? Oh, have I frozen? Have I frozen? I'm just checking because sometimes it freezes and it's annoying, and I don't know why. So I'll just talk while I just check, or if you can. Let me just do this. Whoa. Yeah, I've frozen. Oh, God. Why does it do this? Not fair. Okay, let me try this. Hey, this is the rubbish camera. But if I switch back, maybe. Hopefully that's good. Yep. Weird, annoying. Hopefully I'm back. If I'm back, then please let me know. Yay. Okay, thanks so much. Yeah, how annoying. So I've just catches me out a few times, discombobulates me, and it kind of throws me off my scent. However, it does allow for our audience to come together, and that's always helpful. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. Oh, and there's lots of people already kind of here. Tom Curtin. Hello, Tom. Jim Glue. I will talk about your gig, Jim. You just sent me a message about it. I will get that details out in a little bit. Hello, Ted. Yes. All right. Grumo. Gary. Hey. All right. I hear the next bloop group is soon. That's the Dublin, our kind of like across the water twin to Bleep Club. I'm getting names mixed up now. Yeah. All right. Okay. Earthly Adopters. Hello. Matt Brown. Hello. RTM. Let me think. I have missed some names. I'm so sorry. But yes, welcome one and all. I don't want to spend too long on this. I want to get straight into it because we are dealing with I would say definitely a clickbaity title, and I apologize for that. I don't normally like to do things like that, but in this case, it was too tempting not to, because this is a module I just discovered, and then I managed to find one, and I thought it was really funny because in many ways it's everything that modular shouldn't be, but being absolutely everything that modular should be in doing that. All will be revealed very shortly. I've just got to build a little bit more kind of I don't know, excitement, confusion, intrigue. Maybe that's the word we want. Okay, so what are we here for? Well, in front of me, we have a setup. I can show you that, I think, if I do this. Here's the Oxy One. And here's two small cases that, and the module that we're going to be talking about is, drum roll, please. This one. It's the Seb Songs Bread and Butter. But why? Why, pray tell, damn it, with such a heavy load to bear as being the new Antichrist? Well, maybe that's an exaggeration, because I think what it is, this module it's basically it's got a general MIDI chip on it, and that lets you with MIDI, if you know, so I can do MIDI from the Oxy. it gives me like a full general MIDI sound module in 6 HP, so that's pretty small, and it's the chip, I think it's a chip that you can buy as like a kind of system on a chip that does a bunch of audio jobs, like kind of converting MP3s to WAV files, and that you would put into karaoke machines or put it into sort of various kind of modern things. But one of the features that lets you do is it also lets you play MIDI files through it. So in order to do that, it has a general MIDI facility into it. So, so what they've done at Seb Songs is take this chip and put it into a module and give us access to essentially a general MIDI synth, a complete, let me think now, it's 64 voices, polyphony, and 16-part multi-timbral. So it's like, whoa. And here it is. Oh, let me just take out a few things. Here we go. And a bit more volume, I think. There we go. So it is. Here's our piano. And then as I turn this knob, it's just stepping up. I think it's a bank of 12. Then if I hold the shift control down, I can move to the next bank. I know I've moved to the next bank because this little light here briefly flickers on. So we'll be able to see, you see, so bank 1, bank 2, bank 2, bank 1, bank 2, bank 3, bank 4, etc. And so I can get at all of the sounds that are in there, which is it's all of the general MIDI stuff. So this, in many ways, is like an anathema to modular synths. Modular synths, is, in their original form, was pretty much, if like in the 1990s, the only way that you could get analog synths then would be to go modular. All the manufacturers had stopped making them by that point, more or less. So for something as insipid as a general MIDI sound module to kind of find its way into modular is definitely a little bit on the ironic side of things. However, it's this way of co-opting a chip that's essentially designed for other purposes, putting it into a module and actually going, well, hang on a minute. That little chip is capable of being, 64 voice polyphony, all of the sounds in there, But what if the sounds are rubbish, I hear you cry? Well, that's what makes it fun in modular then, is taking quite vanilla sounds, especially ones that this is so polyphonic. So, I can play kind of chordal stuff. And the keen-eyed viewers there will have noticed that that this Seb Songs is called The Bread and Butter is flowing into the Onoy from Bafako. Now, the Onoy, as I'm sure most of you are aware, is a really phenomenal module that can, well, it's got its own oscillators, but it also can process a stereo input. Because yes, the bread and butter is stereo. Now, I will go through some of the panel stuff on here and we'll have a look at what it can do, because it can't do an awful lot, but it's kind of cool. You take a kind of bland sound and then that's when modular becomes quite fun. I found with the Onoy, I think I was putting too complicated stuff into it to then use what the Onoy can do. So if you take quite a plain sound, it just kind of gives you something more fun to work with, bizarrely. But yeah, we'll go over the controls. So as I say, the main knob is for selecting an instrument. Beneath there, we got two buttons. One is a hold button and one is a shift button. So the hold button is exactly that. It's like a sustain pedal. So, I've got no idea what the sounds, the history of this particular sound bank is, but I'm sure it goes back to 1990s general MIDI. I'm not sure if it was I don't know. So maybe someone could inform me where it actually came from. But I'm guessing that these original sounds are in tiny amounts of memory, as opposed to big multi-samples. However, they do have a certain quality to them. It's all the stuff we've heard before. So if we just get a little sequence on the go, it's a fairly random sequence. and then we'll sort of try and get it to do some nice things. Actually, let me just get this going a bit faster. Put just a few chords in. Let's get... let me start my clock again. I've given it a tempo of 20 BPM. Now Jason knows all about that kind of tempo. Okay. External clock. Okay, let's just go internal clock for now then. Because my external clock is doing something. I've got it 20 BPM. Hello, 20 BPM. Don't knock it. It's quite nice. In fact, let's do it. Let's stay in 20 BPM for now. I'm just going to put like a chord sequence with lots and lots of chord changes in it. And so I've got my hold control on. Sound will get interesting in a moment. Stick with me. Okay, let's go with there. So let's bring some filtering in off this. And some echo. Of course, it's that lovely thing you get with effects. Take the chords up an octave. So now, when I start playing with that instrument select knob, I go into the next bank. Okay, so, you know, it's that thing, isn't it? It's sort of like, you know, and the Onoy, once you start digging in to what it can do, is so cool. So having like a little sound source there that can, you know, you can vary it up quite easily. And it is so polyphonic, 64 note polyphonic. And it's also got a full complement of drums as well. And what's going to be quite fun in a bit, what we'll do is we'll start looking at what we can do with MIDI. So I could make a 16-part sequence using 2 of the sequences of the 4 that we've got. Because remember, with the Oxy One, you've got 4 sequences, but each sequence of the 4 can be set to different kinds of sequencer modes. So I've got them set up here. This is a chord sequencer. The next one down here is a stochastic sequencer. Then I've got another stochastic sequencer. More about that then. That's to do with this lot here. We'll get into that stuff shortly. But then here in channel 4, sorry, in track 4, this is set to be a sequencer. So it's actually a 16-part sequencer. So if I was to give it some notes... Each one of them lanes, I mean, okay, I mean, that's horrible. Stop. Let's take this sync out. Yeah, I was just doing that just to prove that works. But what you were hearing there is all the voices were all, if that's playing across 8 different tracks. But all set to the same sound. Actually, let's just clear this up. I'll make something on here that's a bit easier to follow. Okay, so if I do something like this, then I can step up, and each one of these will be on a different voice. So what you can do from the Oxy is I can send program change to the Seb songs, and I can get at the sound, which is kind of cool. Because you can't from the front. What you can do from the front is you can modulate the instrument selector, but you can only do that for like kind of the first channel. To get at everything else, you're going to have to do it through MIDI. But actually, I am jumping ahead a little bit. I apologize. I should have just finished off what the controls are on here, what we've got on here, because yeah, we got holds. We got a hold. I should have screwed it in the top one as well. Apologies. A sustain, and then you've also got a shift button. So the shift button, yeah, holding shift, turning the knob allows you to change banks, and I think it's got a few other features as well. The tune control and the pan control will only change the if you're using a gate and a volt per octave input, which I could set up. In fact, well, I'll do that in a moment. But obviously, using it with MIDI, though, I mean, that would just give you a single monophonic voice, which will be cool. Actually, I'll set that up. But you have got a pan control, and again, the pan control, it will only pan this first voice. If you're using a gate and volt per octave input, it won't change the MIDI. It won't change the voices if you're using it with MIDI. But that pan control, what it does is it sort of says how much stereo, like whether the next note will be on the left to the right, and how wide that is. So it's actually quite fun. We'll play with that later. And then on the second row here, of inputs, we've got a CV control over this instrument selector, and that's really fun. Set an LFO into sort of the instrument changing. We'll do that as well. We've got an input for pitch bend, and we've got an input for velocity as well. So with those, and if you weren't using it with MIDI, and you're just using it as just a single monophonic, typical modular voice, then yeah, those are the things that you can change. Hold, so actually gate sequences going into the hold is great. Yeah, what the instrument is, the pitch bend, and the velocity. Yeah, so it's kind of there's a lot in there, but there is that thing as well, is without effects, the sounds they're a very kind of vanilla sound, aren't they? Probably like if I get the piano up as an example, so that piano, is not the best piano. And then obviously in the general MIDI, the next one you'll find is bright piano. So, these sounds they're kind of pretty naff, really. But it's how you use them, and embedding them with other modular stuff, they start to have quite a quality that's very, very useful. See, I like things like that. Again, I put the resonator on here as well. I mean, this is saying more about the Onoy, really, but having something to put into the Onoy is kind of cool. Anyway, let's just jump back to this track 4 on the Oxy. So again, this is addressing the module 1 voice per channel. Let's just check I'm in the right channels. Oh yeah, so I'm just going to set them up to be I'll start from channel 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, 5. Do you know what? And I'll set these top ones to be all channel 10 actually, because then, yep, you've got it. We've got drums. Actually, I'm going to change this. I'm going to put channel 10 down the bottom here, because I can turn on the Oxy has got the native mutable instruments grids built in, but it's preset to these first 3 channels. So I'll set these first 3 channels then to be channel 10. Yeah, and now these, if we play it as a keyboard. So the reason those are coming out the way they are is because we've mapped. This is all mapped a bit funny. So here they all are. You know, they're kind of like so basic sounds. Yeah, probably early 90s. I should look at the. I'm sorry, I haven't looked at any comments for a moment, so I apologize for that. Yeah, so you know, yeah, they don't sound like great at all, but again, you know. It's got some reverse. The resonator's sort of taking over quite a lot there. So let's turn on. Just clean this up a minute. Let's just mute the first channel. Okay, so that middle channel is playing. Put that back. I don't know why that's playing. Oh, okay. Because I put all these in, didn't I? Right. Okay. Whoop. Rewind back a minute. So, yes. So the Antichrist of modules is, you know, you can see what I'm saying. It's kind of like it's like a super naff thing that is actually super cool. So, yeah. Right. I want to make some music because I was doing some kind of cool stuff with it earlier, and I need to sort of set a few things up. I thought I'd just start from scratch tonight. So I apologize, chatties. I've not seen anything going on. So if you've asked me anything, maybe if you just hold back with any questions or anything. A few things I need to say about this module though is, yeah, Seb songs. it's only available as a kit. So it is, yeah. I didn't make it. I actually bought it secondhand. Someone else had made it. But yeah, and it's called the Bread and Butter. So it's, yeah, that's, you know, I guess it's really not going to be for a lot of people, but it could be quite useful for some. Right, let's get a nice chord sequence on the go here. And let's get the tempo into something a bit more usable. It's sounding its basic channel as well as the. I'm not sure why it's doing that. Oh, okay. Yeah, I get it now. I had other things on. So I can change the bass frequency of each one of these, and doing that, I guess, will actually work like we'll choose what drum they are. Oh, sorry, did that wrong. Yeah, so we can set it up. So this is now, if you're familiar with grids, we've got like a 3-channel, we've got a little mini grids on the go here. And it's, and you get the same controls more or less as you do for grids. Just remember how to do it. It's slightly embedded. You can see it's kind of wiping each time it starts, and then so it's sort of it's generating that pattern based on. Oh yeah. I can increase the density. I'm just forgetting how to get to the actual grid setting here. Here it is. I got it now. So I can choose the track density. Have like a, if I turn them to 100%, it'll put steps on every one, and then which we don't want, so let's just play around with that a little bit. Really, I should put it on kicks and stuff, shouldn't I? That's the kind of thing it should be on. Got to try and remember. So these, like, it's a bit small and you won't be able to see, but I'm just changing the offset, the note offset for these tracks, and by doing that, it's kind of you're finding the different drums from it. But anyway, yeah. So proving a point there, I guess. I'm just cleaning things up a little bit here. Okay. Let's turn my chord track back on now. Let's make a nicer chord track. Okay. Right. Longer notes. Then just getting things working. Let me just do that again. So on these tracks, you know, I've got a program change control here. So I can change this. Let's get another track up on another thing here. Again, I can change this. Oh, let's make that sound a bit sweeter. Velocity. Every step, all responsive to velocity. What? Let's get some modulation in to this. I'll put it into the hold. So the hold is now. So that's the sound, the raw sound of it. So I got these tracks, I guess. I can do some stuff on this as well. So if that track is selected, I'll turn the arpeggiator on. Channel. There's a lot of things to remember on here. 4. Let's try a track 4. That's changed all of the channels. Okay, ignore that. This stochastic mode on the Oxy is brilliant. It is actually really brilliant. The reason it's brilliant is it lets you create sort of semi-random patterns. Well, each time it's generating new patterns, but if I like them, I can make them loop and they won't change at all. Just take the drums out for a moment. Actually, let's just have track 1, this one playing. I'll mute the chords as well. Yeah, exactly the same. So if I take all of these notes out and turn it back on, it'll go silent. This is the fill amount. All the notes. Actually, and that'll just play. And then it's like all the notes, but a choice of a few. Reduce the chances of particular notes playing. Don't want any roots in there. Let's get some more of these. I want there to be some different octaves in here. Raises the chances of octaves in there. Higher octaves in there. I want some lower ones in there as well. So this is like kind of the octave, you know, high notes and high and low notes. And then here, long notes or short notes. So what's the chances of short notes playing? What's the chances of long notes playing? Here. Put like less chances of notes playing. But it's all blippy random. I'm just going to try and get it to sort of I can't change the notes, well, in this mode just yet, but it's kind of like frozen. So you're hearing that same repeating thing. Go back here and it's random each time round. And then these two columns, these last two columns here, they will choose how much randomization there is in rhythm or how much randomization there is in pitch. So, I mean, it's not a great tune here, but like if we kept that rhythm the same, I could do this. Start bringing new notes in. Still follows the same rhythmic pattern. And if I like that, I can press that. And then there it is, kind of like froze, you know, locked until I want to change it. Or something like this where it'll evolve based on, you know, like it'll evolve the rhythm slower than it'll evolve the melody, you know. And then we can apply other things on the top of here, like random perform. I can put a velocity amount in. So every time, and because we're doing this over MIDI, and because our Antichrist of a module here is able to respond to velocity, so I'll increase the velocity percentage now. Oh, sorry, that was just positive. This now is putting negative and positive velocity values in. So let's just loop that round and let's bring in another one. So they got a bit of a velocity difference here. Oh yeah, but if we can do velocity in another way though as well here. So we could say the these to be loud. Let's change this voice now on this third one. Let's say that. So I can change the volume, so I've got full volume control of the different tracks. Okay, so you kind of... Make my chord track louder. Yeah. Right. Let me be present with you in the chat room. I'm sorry. Let me. Any questions? So what we got here? Stereo or dual mono? It is stereo. It's proper stereo. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, it's kind of one of these things, isn't it? I think it's as a module, it's a really kind of powerful module in a kind of bizarre, way. Because, as I say, it's sort of like the cheapest, nastiest thing in some respects. But but those sounds, they've got a quality. I mean, they're dead familiar as well. We've had those sounds, I guess, on. We've heard them for years and years and years, but right. So I said I was going to use some of the CV stuff off the front. Let's have a little look at that then. Okay, so what can we do? We can, let me just move that a little bit up. So let's take a gate. For now, I'm just going to pull out the MIDI. So we're just going to do this as CV and gate sequencing now. So just as a monophonic instrument. But what we'll do is we'll mess with we'll take outputs of the PAMs in to the inputs on there, and we'll see what we can do off the front panel. I think over MIDI, you can access like reverb sends as well. I think it's all part of the general MIDI part of the general MIDI thing. The information is a little bit slight, shall we say. The manual refers you to the kind of tech sheet that you can get for that chip. So the MIDI facilities it conforms to the general MIDI standard. What was I doing? I was Yes. So Technomatic, hello. What CV control does it give you? Yes. So that's what we're going to look at now. Then, yeah. So we've got volt, we've got volt proactive input, a gate input, a hold input that's like a sustain pedal, an instrument select input, a bend control, a velocity control, and then at the bottom here we've got the MIDI input. Oh, wagyu! Thank you so much. That is very kind. Amazing. You're such a kind man. Okay, so let's see. So we're going to take out let's take a gate, a CV signal. Oh, let's just make that from there. Volt per octave. Gate. Okay. So I'll set one of these stochastic voices up then. Yeah, let's do that. That's coming out CV and gate assign. I want that. That's coming out of channel 3. Track 2. Track 2. Yep, that should do it. Just mute the other things. Gate is getting, yep. Volt per octave input. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, let's run it. Get it running. Okay. I'll just take the effects off a minute. Okay, let's get some CV on. Okay, let's do it with that. So channel 5 on here. I'm just going to set up the PAMs to do a really basic modulation. So going into the instrument select, following, check out setting a sine wave into instrument select. Let's change that speed. Doesn't change the sound, does it? Once, unless the notes are being. Let's make this. It's funny to get some drums in there as well. So what I can do with the PAMs is I can change the strength of that modulation. So if I just limit it'll keep the instrument selection then. I could offset that as well. That's quite cool. It sort of is like a wave station, isn't it? It's sort of moving through different waveforms. Oh yeah, I've got the modulation on the hold control going in as well. If I take that out, oh no, it's better in, isn't it? Let me slow that down so it only channel 5, channel 6. Things should hold for a little bit longer now. Let's plug the MIDI back in, see what happens. Nothing. Why is that? Wrong socket. Drop the volumes down of everything. It's just kind of bonkers having like loads of polyphony and loads of voices all in 6 HP. So I'm not entirely sure how the MIDI and the CV and gate like interact. I think the CV and gate is affecting channel 1. So if I mute, yeah. So it's not affecting that. Oh, actually, I can change the MIDI channel to this. Channel 2. Channel 1. Oh. Yeah. So that's kind of weird, isn't it? Because it's like the CV and gate is changing a voice, but which voice is it changing? That's chaos now. Ah! I can't remember how to get into the thing. I don't remember how to do it. Stop. Yeah, I love the Oxy. It's an amazing thing, but there is a ton of stuff that you have to remember. Methods like the mutable instruments grids functionality is keeping tripping me up. It's in it, but it's like kind of buried in a way in order to access the controls. I can't find them. Random. No, can't find them. Yeah, I would like that. I'd like that too. Okay. Oh, I missed that. Sorry. Exit 101 is saying randomize. Yeah, the Onoy has got really cool randomize functions. So let's get something playing. That's a good idea. you've got an amount of randomize, like 3 settings, and you've also got 4 destinations of the randomize. So if I put it on just effect, it'll randomize the effects by a little amount. I'll put it in the middle setting, and it's going to randomize the effects by medium amount. One of the cool features though is you've got a shift. If you hold shift, you've got an undo, redo for the random. So if we random it again, say I want to go back, shift, back to that lovely sound. Let's go the full amount now, randomize the full amount. Yeah. So I've got no idea what's going on now. Actually, if I fade these out now, and there it is in all its cheesy glory. Cool. So I mentioned earlier, I put this little case together, which is, I'm really enjoying this actually. This is one of these nice things you can do in modular. It's just build little instruments together. And so this small little case, what is that? It's a, oh God, what is it? Just look, I think it's 30, is it 34 HP? It's a little, what they call a little 4MS pod. And in here we've got a Clavis Twin Waves, which are, yeah, it's a really powerful little module. 2 separate oscillators with 2 outputs and 2 separate volt per octave inputs on there, and those 2 outputs are going into this Dope-for module, which is the A142, which is a dual envelope controlled VCA. So it's got VCAs and envelopes built into it. So that's quite a handy one. And then those 2 outputs are going into this Dope-for A121S. That's their stereo analog filter, which is, yeah, it's pretty cool. I still get really baffled by the control system on it, but I'll get there. And then the output of that is going into the ALM MFX, which is a little multi-effect unit, 6 HP, and that's currently running a panner to get some stereo motion going on. So let's get some sounds up on this, and then the reason for that then is to blend some of these kind of cheesy MIDI sounds in with some really nice kind of raw stuff that's and then getting a little bit of a, and then getting stuff mixed up. Yeah, let's do that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to reset the Oxy completely. I'll in case you're interested in the Oxy, I'll talk through what I'm doing. I'm just going to go to the project menu. I'm just going to go here. I'm going to go clear project. Yes. So here's one of the quirks of the Oxy is when you've cleared the project, these tracks that you've set up are still set to what you set them to be. Not entirely. Some of the parameters are reset, but for instance, I put a chord track at the top, and then 2 stochastic tracks, and then 1 multi-track. Even though I've done a clear, it hasn't changed that. So it's not important, but it's just one of these things. It's like, oh, so a completely default setup on here is kind of a little harder to I don't know, to it's not so, like, it doesn't set them all to be like a monophonic sequencer. I think it's okay. It's just I'd almost prefer it if it just did a complete wipe. Before I go any further, though, Mr. Jim Glue did ask me very kindly as well. Let me just come out of here to mention a gig that he's doing alongside our Steve. Steve playing in the Utopia Strong. It's a little event in. I'm going to hold it up. I don't know. Will the camera? Will it focus? Will it focus? I don't know, Jim. If you're there, maybe post a link in, and then people can have a look. It's let me read out the details. It's the Psychic Dance Hall. It's in Derby on the Saturday, the 22nd of March. The Utopia Strong Pram, the glorious Pram, amazing Pram. I went to see them recently. I've loved Pram since the 90s, since my friend Frank introduced me to them. And when I went to see them recently, I was absolutely delighted because they're still on that same weird Pram vibe. If you know Pram, and everyone should know Pram. Anyone watching? Know Pram? Because here we go. Hey, thank you, Wagyu. Wagyu, you are a scholar and a gent. But Pram are playing. Pleasure Pool, Hawksmoor. Oh, that's Jim. James, I know him from Bristol. Tranks. James, Adrian Brown, and James Glue. And then there's a whole bunch more stuff on there. Hey, that sounds really cool. Electronic and Experimental Music Festival. 2 venues, 1 day in the heart of Derby. And that's on Saturday, 22nd of March, 2025. Why am I not being asked to play? That's what I want to know. But anyway, next year. But that sounds really cool. Yes, Tom. Yes, Tom. Pram are indeed epic. They are really, really special. Yeah, it sounds good, doesn't it? It does sound good. It sounds really good. I might well be there. Great. So I know Jim Glue has been involved in the EMOM there that they have in Derby. So nice to know things are happening. We touched on a little bit of this on Sonic Talk earlier today. For any of you watching on Sonic State's regular weekly podcast, just talking about the state of things a little bit and how important I think it is really for us to get out to things, to get out and to that end, I mentioned it on the show. We're having the next Bleep Club 27th of January in Strange Brew in Bristol. Super cool. And you might have seen my live stream from there, my last stream that I did. But that's going to be happening. And so if you're anywhere in the vicinity of Bristol, strongly urge you to put it in the diary and try and come along if you can. Okay. Right. Yes. Oh, sorry. You was asked about Pram. It's like horror music, Pram. Yeah, definitely. Technomatic saying that that the Derby event fits between Syntheast and Superbooth. Yeah, nice. Are there going to be any manufacturers there? Going to be any kind of exhibity stuff at all? Don't know if there's any scope for it in the venue in Derby. Wagyu saying didn't see any live music for 3 years during COVID, but been on a rampage since about April 2023. Yeah, I think it's just, we got to use them or we'll lose them is definitely true, and I think but yeah. But Bleep Club is a really cool event. If you haven't heard of it, I'm sure most of you have heard me go on and on about it. Anyway, let's get back to things. Hopefully this is fun, I think. So chat room, please, just for a moment before I dive back in. I'm sorry, I've been so sticking my head into this thing. I've not been watching the conversation. What do you think of this bread and butter? Do you think it's a useful module. I mean, it's unquestionably a useful module, 6 HP. Obviously, it sounds as it does, but in conjunction with stuff, as we've been exploring, I think, I think it's definitely got purpose. But, okay, so Earthly Adopters actually is going as far as to say he loves it. All right. Cool. Okay, I mean, it's cool, isn't it? I wonder if... I think with MIDI, there's certain like restrictions with how fast it'll respond to stuff if we put LFOs in. Yeah, definitely agreed. Okay, so yeah, all right. Yeah, I mean it is. It does kind of make me think that there absolutely could be a place for a module that takes the same idea of it, but puts a real high quality sound engine in. Oh, Tom Curtin's saying a very important thing actually. Expert sleepers do a module called the General CV, which does have a general MIDI module in it. It may well even be the same set of sounds. I actually don't know that. I do know, however, though, that as with all expert sleeper stuff, you can do all sorts of stuff to it. I think it looks really good, the General MIDI. It's quite a lot bigger, and yeah, it does need more outputs, doesn't it? I mean, it would be really helpful if it were. I mean, and there's a bunch of stuff I think that makes it kind of, it's kind of limited in its way. Does it quantize all incoming CV to 128 steps? I don't know. The manual is pretty, I think what they've done is taken this chip and using whatever the chip lets you put controls to, so if they were controllers, on a device, I'd like to be able to get at a bit more, but the Oxy does let me get there, doesn't it? It is cheap. Again, just to reiterate, it is a kit only. You can't buy it commercially made up, so you'd have to either get someone to make it for you or make it yourself. I don't think it looks very difficult. If you're a dabbler in such a thing. Okay, let's do something more with it then. So yeah, what I was going to say then, if you're interested in the Oxy, I'll just do a complete reset and then we'll build a project, and in doing so, this will be quite a good way of just showing some of the CV and gate mappings that you can do from this thing, because if that's interesting to you, because in case you're not aware of this, we've got MIDI coming out of this, but we've got 8 CVs and 8 gates, and also we've got clock in and out, and I was clocking it from the PAMs earlier, and I will do probably again in a moment, but let me just reset this then and we'll just do it again. So I'm going to go, yeah, clear project, yes. Okay, and then I mentioned, didn't I, that the tracks are all set the same, but okay, so I've got a chord track here. At the moment, everything has got a MIDI default. Channel 1, channel 2, channel 3, channel 4. And then, so I get straight out of the box in that reset way, then it will address 4 different channels on this. But what we're going to do is we're going to bring some of these in as well. So I'll set tracks 2 and 3 to be stochastic modes again, which they are. But what I'll do is I'll map them to these 2 voices, and it's super quick to do. I've got CV1 going to pitch 1 and CV2 going to pitch 2 of the clavis twin waves. So so to map that, I go into the CV mapping. I got tracks 1 to 4, these first 4 here, and then the bottom let you choose what type of thing it's doing. So what I'll do is I'll say I want to use CV1, but I'm not going to use it on track 1. I'm going to use it on track 2. So now I've mapped the output here of CV1. So it's CV1 to 8, gates 1 to 8. So this column pertains to that one CV output. So I want it to come out of track 1. What do I want to do? I'll come down the bottom here, and then I've got 4 choices. It could be like a pitch, so volt per octave, which is indeed what we're going to use it for. It could also be a velocity channel, and it's actually got these cool little trigger envelopes, so it can actually generate envelopes out of that CV output. And then the fourth one is if you want to use it as a modulation source. Oh, you've got LFOs and stuff in here, so we could send out LFOs or modulation lanes out of that one if I select that one. So we want this one. So that's our first gate. Same thing here for the gates then. I want gate 1 to output a gate. And so there I've mapped track 2 to send a CV in here and a gate to open the envelope. Okay, so now if we go into that, if we go into play and I add something on here, and then I'll just make sure this is indeed working. Okay, let's just make sure I've got it. Oh, hang on. It'd be handy if I plugged a pair of outputs in, wouldn't it? Let's just grab a couple of cables. Ah, yes. Yeah, let's just repatch that in. Definitely helpful to have things plugged in. Turn it down a little bit first. Okay, this is channel 2 on my little mixer. Okay, there it is. Clavis twin waves. We've explained this now. We can see why that's just doing a constant stream of notes, just one note. Get it doing some funky stuff. It's chromatic at the moment here, so if I wanted to, I could have all the notes, or I could put it into a key. Puts red ones on there. So you can set things up with out of scale notes, and then when you change the key, it'll do definitely things. So it's kind of pretty cool. Okay, twin waves lets you pick a whole load of different types of oscillators, and it's really cool, but I won't go into the details on this one yet. I'm just going to get 2 voices on the go. So that's channel 1. So channel 2, sorry, that's oscillator 1. Oscillator 2, I'll set up there here. Same sort of thing. I'll go into that window here. I'm going to say this time track 3. Oh, why have I lost my CVs? Oh, there we go. Okay. So now if I go, so I've got my other oscillator on the go now. Okay. It gets quite chaotic. Let's put this into the same. Slow it down. I'm going to start locking this into something so we can start. See, okay. just got to get the tuning off. Okay. Okay, let's bring this into here now. So I'm going to try and combine these. I'll get more interesting stuff happening as it goes along now. So, sorry, just. Okay, I'm going to bring that MIDI back in now. Oh no, before I do that, we'll just use a CV and gate channel. I'll set track 4 up to be just a polyphonic channel. So then this is giving us like a full polyphonic sequencer that we're going to sequence the oh yeah, I was saying with MIDI. So I'm going to make sure that I turn MIDI off on all the tracks I don't want it to be on. Let's plug MIDI. MIDI is back in. Yeah. Oh yeah. So chord track is playing, which is kind of nice, simple. This is playing MIDI. Oh, I thought I turned it off. Okay, there we go. Okay. Thanks for your patience here a moment. I can put all of this in to my backpack. I got this wicked bag. Really recommend them. The UDG. Really, really good bags for this kind of for carrying this kind of music tech gear. It's a bit gnarly there. Okay, so here we are on this track 4 then. I'll use the you can do some really nice polyphonic sequencing stuff. So the track is set to harmonize to so let's change the sound that this is doing. That sounded weird out of tune, that one did. Like an organ-y sound. Ah, I've got the gate. I'm going to take... No. Okay. I'm just confusing myself a moment. Yeah. Look for my bagpipes. I should know off the top of my head what General MIDI bagpipes is. This little organ sound. Okay, let's bring in our... Oh, I've caught that with my finger then. Yeah, cool. So it's a cool little module. It's a cool little module. I think it's definitely, it pairs great with that Onoy, I think. And the functionality of it, it's kind of fun. Oh yeah. I know what I'm going to change one thing. I'm going to make this last track a monophonic track, and I'm going to route that now. Oops, let me just show you what I'm doing. I'm going to route that with the same thing into this little window here, I'm going to say channel 3. There we go. So now this should be just a little, and I'm going to turn it, I'm going to turn its MIDI off. Okay, so now it's receiving this. And what channel is that coming up? Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay, and then we should be seeing gates. Yeah, there we go. Oops. Oh, that's right. Track 4. Yep, that's getting, okay, that's cool. Just mute the other tracks for a moment. Oh yeah. So this voice then, this is that one then that we've got the instrument being modulated and the hold as well being so certain times it's going, some notes are going to hold a bit longer as well. Okay. Just working out if the knob works as an offset. Perhaps not. So again, I was doing that, wasn't I? Using this. What channel am I doing? That. Okay, channel 5. Slow things down. I'm going to turn things into darker, scarier, ambient, nightmare ambient territory. I've been abandoning its dark draw. Yes. Key changes. We're definitely going down. Okay, I'll probably sign off in a moment then. Hope you've enjoyed this little hope you've enjoyed this little kind of exploration. All right. Okay. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining me. I'll see you guys soon. I've got this amazing thing, actually. I've nearly done a stream about it a few times, but it is amazing. It's like, I think, one of the most amazing modules, and not just modules, music technology devices I've ever come across. And I've been really trying to wrap my head around it, and well, which I have. I've been spending oodles of time with it, and I think it's amazing. But I am going to keep it a surprise and a secret for now, but just to kind of to keep you keep you intrigued to come back, because yeah, so there's going to be, you know, a reasonable amount of modular stuff in future shows, I'm afraid. But again, you know, this thing, it works great with modular, but it also works great with USB directly to a computer, works great with MIDI. It's got the little split box, wherever that is. This little thing that you can plug into the Oxy with a little breakout cable that plugs into what your normal mini jack MIDI goes into, but it gives you a three separate outputs and a through. So yeah, 48 MIDI channels, individual MIDI channels and a through. Amazing. Yeah, it's good. It's really good. But yeah, I feel like I should stop, but I kind of want to do another jam. How are we doing? Shall I shall I play out a little bit more, or should we just bid? It is late, isn't it? Or should we just switch off? But thanks again. I mean, how this time slot's maybe a bit late for Europe, so it kind of works for me. But it's 110. Okay. Right, just for Wagyu then we're gonna get to the bagpipes. Let's see. So I'm just gonna clear things so we can get ready for the bagpipe sonata. Channel 1. I'm going to take out those gates. Gate and CV for now. Yeah, I'll just unplug that. I don't need to unplug them. I'm being a fool. Let's put them back in. All I need to do is just go to the thing on here and just turn them off. Yeah. The grid on here, you use it for all sorts of things. Here's another cool thing actually with the Oxy you might not know of. The Norns, I know Tom, if Tom's still in watching, Tom Curtin's got the mono Norns, and I know Ryan Sanders Ryan's introduced them to me really. But we discovered if you hold the shift button when you turn on the Oxy, it puts it into the Norns grid mode, which is super cool. I'll do it actually. So if you've got a Norns, it's essentially, it turns this into a mono grid. Hold shift, turn it on, it says grid, and now all that stuff is off. And then obviously if you're connected to something that can read the mono grid, then you got it. So dead cool way of just turning your Oxy into another product really. Calc was the first person showing off the Norns. Calc is so great, such a great musician, brilliant. Yeah, Tom has. I know Tom has got an Oxy and has got the Norns. So yeah. Okay, great question from Technomadic. How deep does the Oxy go with modulation? Okay, we can do some of that as well. So let's. I guess I'm back up again. So here, track 4, I'm just going to get that coming out as bagpipes. It'll do channel 1, program change. Let's see, program 110. Is that working? No, why not? Program change 1. I try a different channel, try a MIDI channel 2. Okay. Really? Oh, I don't know what's going on. Let's try another MIDI channel. Let's try like MIDI channel 12. Okay. There they are. Slow it down into, drop it. Let's get it into more. So we need 2 channels, don't we? We need another one set up to be a drone channel. Okay. Let's set that one up. Channel 13. 110. Oh. So it's a bit like it's not changing sounds. Let's try a different MIDI channel. 10. Yes, firing a drum. MIDI channel 9. Maybe I've hit some limitations on this. Well, that's changing. Okay, it's changing now. $110. Okay. That wants to be a tied note, doesn't it? We don't want that. Tie, how to do ties? Ties, yeah, gate tie. Oh, it's saying tied. Let's just slow it down, really. Drop down the octave. We're getting there. We're going to get our... Hang on. Why has that changed? Oh, it's changed. Oh, there's something weird going on. What sort of things do people play on bagpipes these days? Hang on. We need some resonation on here. Some filtering. I know there's a way on the Onoy to reset everything, because I've been pumping that random button, so I have no idea. Come to me in the dead of night, young bagpiper. I mean, effects are just so lovely. I don't know, I'm waiting for something profound to happen. Just long notes. Oh yeah, I could go. I could turn this track into a poly track. Let me do that. Velocities. Let's give our piper some variation. I want to get these oscillators just droning. The Oxy is cool. It is cool. It is just... CV gate assign. Okay, well, my channel 2. Ugh. I don't think I'm going to be able to make these bagpipes very nice. Okay. Wow. Thank you, Bill. That's very kind. Okay. So not the best tune there, but I did play a bagpipe outro. Okay. Thanks everybody. Sleep well, and thanks so much for joining me. Or sleep well, or enjoy the day if you've just got up. But yes, I will be back hopefully weekly. I'll try and be a little bit less elusive in future. But yeah, as I say, I've got something so cool that I'm really dead keen to show everybody. So that'll be soon. I want to get it right. But yeah, okay. Thanks everyone. Thanks. Hope you enjoyed it. Give us a like if you don't mind. Just all that kind of stuff. I think for reasons I'm still a little bit baffled about. It's nice to get new people here though. So that's always cool. Thank you. And if you're new, ooh, hang on. Let's put this up. What's this now? So After Party Symptoms of Reality are streaming. There we go. Cool. Okay. Well, there's something to go to. Thanks everyone. See you soon. Bye.